So students, now we will be discussing about Assam. In Assam, you know, first of all, Assam was the first state of Northeast after independence. You are aware of that. Later on, because of the East Pakistan formation, there was a problem of illegal migration and influx of illegal migration, and because of which there was resource scarcity. In fact, these people who are coming from East Pakistan, they were Bengali Muslims and they were in conflict with the Assamese people. So, looking into the ethnicity, the threat to the ethnicity of the Assamese people, what happened later on was there was a formation of All Assam Student Union in 1979. Students, in the early stages, this particular body, this particular association was totally non-violent. It used to follow the practices of boycott, satyagraha, but see the problem of, you know, that in 1971 the Bangladesh was liberated. It's basically being formed out of the East Pakistan. So because of which there was a huge influx of migrants. They were in search of food, maybe in search of jobs, new types of jobs, or threat to their own people. They were migrating to India. And because of the porous border, as we have already discussed, these problems were prevailing. And lack of the resources, the scarcity of the resources, it created a condition where the situation was like that Assamese people, they wanted that these people who have illegally migrated to the country should be thrown out of the country, literally. That is why in 1979 such a body was formed, but later on what was seen that the offshoot of this body, the one offshoot of this body called as United Liberation Front of Assam was formed, and this particular body was responsible for many violent attacks. So in particularly in 1979 this body was formed. And if we talk about what is the purpose and what are the objectives of forming this body, first point is that they want independence of Assam. Independence of Assam from all these people. Secondly, their thought process of socialist government, making a government which is socialist in nature. They had nexus with other insurgent groups, for example NSCN, in fact Maoist also. And ultimately students, in fact in 2003 operation name, that is Operation All Clear, was started by Bhutan. Definitely it helped India, Bhutan helped India, because many of these particular Ulfa militants, they used to hide in these particular neighboring border countries like Bhutan. Bhutan army, Royal Army, it helped India actually in eliminating these particular Ulfa militants, and it is being said that thousands of Ulfa militants were killed at that point of time. Insurgents were killed, and this particular association was put at a setback in early 2000s. Okay, so this is all about this particular body. If there's a question on insurgency in Assam, you must mention about Ulfa. Okay students, now coming to the situation again, when there were violent protests going on in Assam, so government also came up forward, and there was a particular accord that was signed in 1985. This accord is called as Assam Accord. This particular accord has very much relevance and significance today also. I'll coordinate it and particularly connect it with the current affairs of today. Understand this particular topic. First of all, it is Biplab Kumar Sharma. You must remember the name while writing some kind of mains answer in the introduction. You can give this name. There was a committee that was chaired by Biplab Kumar Sharma, and it was constituted to define what are Assamese people. So there was some kind of safeguards that were given in Assam Accord to the Assamese people. It is being said that I want you to learn this particular line so that you can write it in any of your mains answer. Clause 6 of Assam Accord clearly said that it envisaged the legislative, constitutional and administrative safeguards. You see CLA, constitutional, legislative and administrative safeguards, that the people of Assamese people and ethnicity of those people, we need to protect them, we need to preserve, promote the cultural, social and linguistic identity and heritage of Assamese people. This particular statement, this particular line can be quoted in your mains answer as it is. You see, the cultural, social, linguistic identity and heritage, everything has been included. We need to protect it, we need to preserve and promote as well. So this was a very clear cut statement that yes, people of Assam are very important, their demands are very much important, and people who have illegally migrated to the country, yes, they should be thrown out of the country. Now what Assam Accord actually said? It said that all those people who have entered illegally between January 1966 and March 1971 were allowed to remain in the country. Those who came before 1966, they will be given citizenship, not a problem. Okay, those who are coming between 1966 to 1971, these people, what government said in the Assam Accord, that these people need to stay in the country for 10 years, and within these 10 years there will not be any voting rights. Voting rights of these people were taken away, but after 10 years they will be given particular citizenship of the country, not a problem. But all those people who are coming after 1971, when Bangladesh has been formed, it is not right, they should not come to the India illegally, and yes, the expulsion will be there. So this is all about Assam Accord of 1985. Now students, what would be the parameter to decide that who should remain and who should be outside? Just the years? But how will you be able to identify those illegal migrants? That was a problem. And since documents, definitely on the basis of the documents you can consider who has come up early, who has come up later. But students, just think once, in 1985, after 1980s, mid 1980s, if you can imagine that people were not having documents the way we are having documents today. Just you have Aadhaar today, you have driving license today, but people in that particular earlier years, they were not having documents. In fact, people were not having their land documents also. So how can they show up to the government that yes, they have come up in 1966 or before 1966, and henceforth government, though through Assam Accord, the Assam Accord was signed between Government of India, Assam government and the student union, though it was decided that yes, these people needs to be pushed out of the country, but how? So methodology that was thought was NRC. Now if you can relate it with respect to current affairs today, the topic remains it's very much relevant today, right? So NRC, National Register for Citizens, should be made, and this should clearly bifurcate that who are the citizens of the country or who will be given citizenship in the country and who should be expelled out of the country. In Assam, it was not the first time that NRC was asked to be conducted. In 1951 also NRC was conducted in Assam, but not up to a very detailed level. However, it was said that after the Assam Accord, one NRC would be conducted, that is National Register for Citizens. It is a simple register in which the names of the citizens are there, and all those people who are residing, their name will be cut off. Okay, so this should be done, but because of the lack of documents and maybe because of the political will, the particular NRC was not conducted after Assam Accord also, and this actually created a lot of problem. And since the issue of Assam Accord, I'm already telling you the issue of the NRC is there. What actually happened in 2013? In fact, before 2013, there were some people who went to the Supreme Court and they highlighted the problem that yes, the government said that in the Assam Accord, it is clearly being mentioned that one NRC should be conducted in Assam, and it has not yet been conducted, so why not? So here the Supreme Court actually directed government that why NRC is not being conducted and it should be done on immediate basis. And henceforth in 2015-16 NRC practice, the National Citizen Register for Citizens, the practice of counting the citizens and numbering them and naming them, it is started and NRC activity conducted. But students, what happened? In initial days of the NRC list, the results that came out, the particular reports that came out, that 40 lakh people, you won't imagine, 40 lakh people were out of NRC list. And this is a separate topic of current affairs of NRC and NPR, National Population Register. That particular register includes only the name of the people who are residing in the country. And National Register for Citizens, it is actually the name of the people who will be crossed, those people who will be crossed from NPR and will be registered in NRC as a citizens of the country. So you may be residing in the country as a person of origin from another country, but your name will be there in NPR, National Population Register, but your name will not be there in NRC. You may be living in the country, but you're not the citizen of the country. And being a citizen, you know that many of the rights are being given to the people, the voting rights are there, and all those things are there that will be taken away from the people. And then came the problem of CAA, which is still prevalent, and this is still a current news because the Amendment Act of Citizenship, which was government was trying to introduce, there were a lot of protests in the country, right? And NRC issue was there, that people are very much feeling threatful that the NRC will be conducted at the nationwide level, not just at Assam level. So Assam NRC, why Assam was there, that NRC was conducted in Assam? It is because of the Assam Accord of 1985. And once the first report came up, 40 lakh people were out of the list. Then many people came forward. They said that half of the family members are part of the list, half of them are not at the part of the list. And then government asked, okay, you must resubmit your documents and we will rectify it further. And further it was identified that 19 lakh people, yes, 19 lakh people, that is 1.9 million people, they are still out of the NRC register of citizens and they are not the citizens of the country. That means they are illegal migrants. So what government is trying to do? Government says that those who are of particular caste or particular religion, those who belong to a particular religion, they will be given citizenship under CAA, and a particular religion, that is Muslim religion, will not be given the citizenship under CAA. So that is why there was so much unrest in the country, that people cannot be, the Indian constitution does not allow that you can discriminate on the basis of the religion while giving the citizenship to the people of the country. Okay, or maybe citizenship to the people, not of the country, but citizenship to the people. You cannot discriminate on the basis of the religion, and that is why the problem is there of the CAA. This is currently in news. You must know the basics, the background, and the how Assam insurgency has come up into the picture. And students, this scenario is still going on. Yes, after COVID, the situation is very much, we can say that everything seems calm, but in future also, since these people, we do not know where they will land. We do not know where we will expel them. If Assam Accord being followed, then they need to be expelled out of the country to the Bangladesh. But what about our diplomatic and international relations with Bangladesh? Definitely, Bangladesh is not going to allow this. Bangladesh will not accept such illegal immigrants, and this will create tensions between the two nations. So clearly it has been said by our Prime Minister that we are not going to send these people to Bangladesh, and Bangladesh should not fear about it. But this is the question mark here, that what about these people, and if they are not expelled out, then what is the purpose of conducting NRC? So I have given you the overall review of this particular topic, and I just give you some highlights, like what are the recent updates, that yes, there are approximately 1.9 people today, 1.9 million people, 19 lakh people are today which have not made it to the list. It was 2013 where Supreme Court asked the government to do such a NRC again, and that is National Register of Citizens. I have already explained it to you. So this is the overall topic with respect to the Assam Accord, and now there are other things that are going on in parallel. Students, the particular statehood is being demanded by some of the ethnic groups in the Assam, and Assam in itself is being, some of the players, they demand that they need appropriate proper state for themselves. They do not want to secede from India, but they want a separate statehood status. So Assam need to be, they demand that it should be broken down into pieces, and 4 pieces which are much seen in the picture in the news. First is Bodoland. You have heard about Bodoland. It is this region of North Assam. There are 4 districts basically. Then Karbi Anglong. Karbi Anglong region is basically this central Assam. Okay. Then there is a region of Kamtapur. Kamtapur region actually includes some portions of West Bengal also, and some portions that are being demanded as Gorkha land, that those portions also, right? Then Dimaraji. Last is Dimaraji. It is this region actually. Okay, so I have shown these particular regions in the map of Assam, map of Northeast. Definitely in future, if a specific question was, if it is asked with respect to Assam, you can make this map, you can quote this particular demarcated areas which are being somewhere unrest is there because there are demands of separate statehood. So I have already told you about Operation All Clear of 2013, where Bhutan helped in elimination of ULFA members, and ULFA objective was Swadhin Assam. So this is the keyword, Swadhin Assam, independence of Assam. Okay students. So let's read about all these statehood demands separately. First is Bodoland issue. So these are the districts. Recently it has been news in 2020 and 19 that a Bodoland territorial autonomous district has been made. So these districts are these particular names. They can be asked in your state PCS exams particularly, and it is actually at the northern front of the Brahmaputra river. So there is a clash between Bodo speaking people and non-Bodo. So non-Bodo people are actually these Bengalis, particularly Muslim Bengalis, and they are actually below the southern bank of the Brahmaputra river, but northern region of Brahmaputra, this is the region of conflict. And again, the Bodo people, if I give you some data, that they are just 5 to 6% of the state population, single largest tribal community. Their ethnicity, they feel that it is under threat, and since 1980s, such kind of armed struggle, ethnic clashes are going on at the northern bank of Brahmaputra. One organization, that is NDFB, National Democratic Front of Bodoland, it is there, and it talks about Bodo people. So you must also know that Bodo language is there in the 8th schedule, right? There are 22 language, res, and if you are aware, you have read polity. So 22 language, Bodo language is there. It is included in the 22 languages of the country, and this particular organization was later declared as terrorist organization, NDFB. Okay students, I will just give you a short description about this particular Bodo issue. Going into the detail of the Bodoland issue, as I have already told you that in mid 1980s, these particular clashes started, ethnic groups, they started fighting, and what happened actually in 1993, it is important. In 1993, Bodoland Autonomous Council was formed. Okay, so autonomous council, you have learned in your polity that this particular autonomous council, it has right to take some decisions for its own, but still later 1990s, later on, still people were not happy and violent activities were seen. But then again government came into the picture, and 2003 one Bodo Accord was signed, and it was called as Bodo Land Territorial Council would be formed, and this was the accord. But still there were issues with the Bodoland Territorial Council. What was the issue? The issue was that in this particular BTC, Bodoland Territorial Council, 70% of its members, these members were non-Bodo people. And that was the issue, that if people are not belonging to the particular ethnic group, and they will definitely be biased, and non-Bodo people will not be willing to solve the problems of the Bodo people. Considering this issue, again many problems it occurred. However, in this particular accord, it was said that the autonomous, I'll explain it so that I'll write it actually so that you can quote it in the exam. Autonomous self-governing body will be formed, and this body will fulfill the economic, educational and linguistic aspirations of people. It is also being said that this particular organization will help in fulfilling the aspirations of the people, and will the socio-cultural upliftment of the people would be taken into consideration. But after all these issues, again the problem was not solved, and this issue of non-Bodo members in the particular BTC, the issue came up again, and recently the accord has been signed again, and autonomous district has been made. So this particular Bodoland Territorial Autonomous District has been made, this region has been made, and there are different districts in this particular region, you must know, and this is the current affair. Okay students, so this is the topic of Bodoland. This particular topic of Bodo people, Bodoland, can also be separately being asked, or maybe some kind of a question can come where how government has helped in dealing with these insurgent groups and eliminating the problem of ethnicity clashes, how it has been done. So one example of Bodoland Territorial Autonomous Council can be given in the examination. I have given you the detailed description of this particular issue. Next particular region is Karbi Anglong region. I have already told you about Karbi Anglong region in the map. This is again the region of the Assam, which is being given as a Karbi Anglong region or the district. Students, you must know that this is one of the largest district of the Assam. But in 2006, when government of India did the practice of analyzing the backward districts of the country, it was said that Karbi Anglong is one of the most backward district of the country. Though being the largest of the Assam, it is the most backward district, and this is a bit problem. That is why some political people, they feel that they need to be given a separate statehood so that they can develop this region. However, within the Assam, they are not able to develop much, and these people belong to which tribe? They are Karbi tribe. Okay. While naming some of the organizations here which are prevalent, one such organization is Karbi People's Liberation Tigers. It is also called as KPLT, and the second organization is Rangma Naga Hill Protection Force. So what they demand? They demand for creation of the self-ruled state, and that is why these particular organizations are fighting there. But still the problem of violence has gone down, that is true, but the backwardness of the district is still there, and government is trying its best to cope up this problem. Anyways, third region is Dimaraji region. So this is the region of the Assam, Dimaraji. These people are called as Dimsa people, or Dima land being the name called as of the Dima Raji, particular Dima Sa people residing there, demanding for Dima Raji area. It is part of the Assam, and some parts of the region also belong to Nagaland. So government has given autonomy in forming Dima Hasao Autonomous Council. See, one such solution to the problem of insurgency is that if people are looking forward for their speaking about their own rights, talking about their own way of handling the problems and identifying the problems and working against them, so they should be given some autonomy. State legislature should not put that pressure on them, and in fact, if we can give them some autonomy, they will be happy. The country and the state will be integrated and united, and no further pieces of the land would happen. However, if such demands are accepted at all level, if we accept all the demands, then we do not know how many states will be formed in the particular northeast in itself, and that will become very difficult for the administration also. So giving a statehood is also a problem, but autonomous councils can be made. However, Dima Hasao Autonomous Council is there, Bodoland Territorial Autonomous Council is there, but Karbi Anglong, no, it's not there. And for Kamtapur also, there is no such autonomous council yet, till date, no. But in future, it can be a solution, or it can be a possibility, right students? Lastly, the Kamtapur region. Kamtapur, if I talk about, there are 6 districts actually, and these 6 districts belong to the West Bengal, and 4 districts are of Assam actually. So this is the region in the yellow, and they do not have autonomous council like Bodos. I have already told you, West Bengal districts are there, Assam districts are there. The areas demanded under Kamtapur, these particular areas are also overlapping with the Gorkha land. I have already explained you in the last slides. So this is the basically not much into detail you need to go further, but you just remember the name, you can code it in the exam. So this is all about the insurgency in Assam. I have given you the basic areas, regions which are demanding for statehood. I have talked about Assam Accord, and I have also given you the organization names, ULFA, which needs to be mentioned if a question individually comes up for the insurgency in Assam. And NRC is a current topic which has already been discussed. Now let's go to the insurgency in Manipur. Students, in Manipur, the problem is of the ethnicity. So if you see, there are 3 tribes basically. First tribe is called as a Meitei tribe. Now Meitei tribe actually lives in the central Manipur region. This Meitei tribe, mostly Hindus are there, some Christians are also belonging to the Meitei tribe. The southern Manipur, the tribe is there called as Kuki tribe. It is in the south. So there is an ethnic clash going on in Manipur, and in the northern side there is a Naga tribe. You already know that Naga people are working and fighting for their Nagalim, greater Nagalim. So there is a spillover effect of Nagaland issue into Manipur also. So though it has been declared a separate state in 1972, the groups of Kuki, Meitei and Naga, these communities, these tribes, they are fighting somewhere. So if I give you specific reasons of insurgency, one of the reason is that the people feel that forcefully they have been merged with India, and the feeling of alienation is there. Secondly, they feel that there was a delay in conferring the statehood to them. So you know that in 1963, Nagaland was given a separate state. So if Nagaland was given a separate state, why not Manipur, and why it took almost 10 years? But now for the present scenario, this is not the concern of insurgency today. Today the problem are more of the tribal ethnic community clashes. The violence, the spillover effect of the Nagaland, I have already given you the answer. So students, these particular reasons can be quoted in your mains answer, and this particular map can also be drawn in the, you can draw this map in the examination. Very easy to draw. Practice this particular map 2-3 times and you will be able to draw it. Students, I have already told you about Ulfa in Assam, but in particular Manipur, there was an emergence of United National Liberation Front in 1964. As I've told you, in 1963, Nagaland was given statehood. So very violent protest was there in Manipur and insurgency issue was there. However, the insurgency problem today, it is more towards the issue of AFSPA. And human rights violations are happening in Manipur. There are many allegations on the army. I will explain it further. You just look at this map first. This is the map where Kuki land, people are of the Kuki tribe, they are demanding Kuki land. People in the center, they are Meitei tribe, and in the northern region, there are Naga people, Naga tribe. Okay, so there are different organizations. I've talked to you about United National Liberation Front of particular Manipur. There's People Liberation Army, there's Kuki National Army. You need not to remember all of them, all the names. You just remember the 2 names, so that if a particular question of insurgency is being asked with respect to Manipur, you can at least quote 1 or 2 these particular militant organization, insurgent organizations. So I will talk about AFSPA. You know, the Armed Forces Special Power Act. This particular act, this has been a major concern for people of Manipur. So students, once the area that has been notified as disturbed, AFSPA can be applied on it. And thus the security forces, they get special power. They get special power, and sometimes there are allegations of misusing of the powers. I'll tell you the powers. First, I'll want to give you some of the examples here that in 1980s, the region of Manipur, it was declared disturbed and AFSPA was introduced. There was an infamous Mother's Nude protest. This is one of the examples, and there were many allegations against Indian Army that atrocities and human rights violations has been done. And one personality you must mention in your exam is Aram Shamila. She actually did 16 years of hunger strike so that AFSPA can be removed from the region. It has been said that her brother, she was working and doing this strike to give justice for the brother. However, we are not aware of the story and I do not want you to go into that deep, but you must know that she has done 16 years of hunger strike against AFSPA. So I'll take you directly to the topic, and this particular topic is actually very important and a lone question can also come onto it. The full form is Armed Forces Special Power Act of 1958. You must not confuse with Jammu and Kashmir AFSPA Act, that is a separate act. First question. Second point is why we are learning it as a separate topic, because in news sometime or the other the topic is there that government is trying its best to withdraw AFSPA from many regions. Just like in April, news came that union government, it is withdrawing this particular act from 3 northeastern states, Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, and in fact Tripura, I would say Tripura and Meghalaya. AFSPA has been totally withdrawn from these particular states. Then in October also 2022, it was said that AFSPA is extended now in 4 of these states, and uncertainty over the peace talks of Naga peace talks. So I've already told you that Naga peace talk or Naga Accord, these topics are very much in news. You must stay updated with respect to these topics, and AFSPA has always been in news since quite a lot of time, and because of the allegations on the army, it is if the question is on human rights violation, then you must mention this point or else your answer will be incomplete. Because of the news that is coming day after the another, months after the another, you must know what is AFSPA. This is a map that was issued where in April it was told that in Assam many of the districts will be partially withdrawal of the AFSPA would be there, and in Nagaland also, in Manipur also partially lifted from the 6 valley districts. These things are there, so you must know what is AFSPA. In introduction, you can mention that AFSPA as an act, it was initiated by Britishers during the Quit India movement. So you know Quit India movement of 1942. With respect to special ordinance, the powers were given to the armed forces, and it was after because of some ordinance this it was introduced. However, Assam disturbed area, it was invoked in 1947, and because of the partition problems were occurring in the region, the first time the ordinance was in Assam was introduced in 1947, and you know that the total region was in itself called as Assam. There were no states bifurcations, and there was another region of northeast frontier region of Arunachal Pradesh today, which is called as Arunachal Pradesh. So what are the powers of the what are the powers given to the security forces from this act? First power is that they can open fire. They can fire even if it causes death. They just need to give one warning, and if a person is not listening to them, they have full power to shoot the person. And this is something very draconian in nature. This is sometimes being said that AFSPA is a draconian act. Okay, and this kind of a question can come if any person is doing anything illegal or carrying arms or ammunitions, and it gives simple power to the army that they can shoot the person after giving one more warning. They can in fact without warrant can enter into anyone's house. Army can search any factory, any organization, any institute. It can search the premises without warrant also, and the just reasonable suspicion, if it is there, it can do so. And because of all these powers, the allegations are there that sometimes army misuse it. So why it has been introduced? I've already told you that Naga insurgency was going on in early 1950s, mid 1950s. And nationalist movements were going on, secessionist movements were going on, that many of the groups, they wanted to be separate out from the India. Then to maintain peace in the country and keep India united, it was very important to give special powers to the army. And if there are some extraordinary situation going on, then extraordinary powers need to be given to the army also. That is why this act is there. But what Supreme Court has said, you also must know, Supreme Court has said that complete immunity to the personals, professionals, these particular army people is not there under the AFSPA Act. If there is an allegation and if it is being proved, there is no blanket immunity given to the army people. Okay, this is being said by the Supreme Court. In fact, Supreme Court also said very important thing, that if there is a continuous introduction of the AFSPA in a district, and particularly if it is said that infinite time and no time duration is there, then it is a failure of the government. And not just the failure of the government, it is also the failure of the army, that it is not able to restore the peace in the region, and infinitely AFSPA cannot be introduced in any region. Okay. Now, there is a need to withdraw this act because of this act, people, they feel alienated. They feel that they are not living in their own country, because if it is their own country, then the army that belongs to the same country, it is suppressing them. There are fake encounters. The act has been called as a draconian act, draconian law, which is giving immense power to the army. And human right violations, I have already given you that there were people who are on streets just protesting against the army. Such incidences have occurred. Definitely there are allegations, so definitely the people have lot of rage against the army. I have given you about the Supreme Court verdict of 2016. I have already explained this to you. In second ARC report also, it is being said that yes, AFSPA should not be issued or introduced for infinite time. It needs to be partially withdrawn now. The time has come. And in fact, you must quote Justice Jeevan Reddy report of 2004, which recommended that there should be repeal of AFSPA, and highly undesirable. It is a highly undesirable thing, and it has today become the symbol of oppression. So we need to repeal AFSPA. Okay, and yes, government is trying its best, and in this context government is trying to make some regions as autonomous councils. So this is one step forward, that with proper dialogue and diplomatic tie-ups and proper communication, such problems, the solutions of the problems can happen. In addition, in Manipur, we have seen that Maoist activity is being there, and insurgents and Maoist, the topic I have already explained you in the left-wing extremism. There is a nexus between them, and many a times they block National Highway 37, which create lot of problems. So this is the highway. You see that this highway is connecting Assam to Manipur, and this is the lifeline actually for Manipur also. And what happens is sometimes there are allegations, there are news actually, that locals block National Highway 37. It's a very important route actually. So you can give this example as well. So I hope you understood the topic of insurgency in Manipur. I've already discussed Assam, Manipur, and now we are going to the topic of insurgency in Tripura. See, in Tripura, the problem of insurgency is not much prevalent today, and it is being said that since 2003, there is a decline in violent activities. Okay, so we cannot say that Tripura is facing lot of insurgency problem. Yes, it was there in early 1990s. There were insurgent terrorist activities, but since 2003, there has been a decline, and this decline is because of the CM. The name of the CM, that is Manik Sarkar. His visionary leadership has played a very important role, students. In fact, first point is he ensured confidence building in the people and development of the trust, and for that purpose he used media, he ensured civic action programs. So all this way, the problem of insurgency is not much prevalent in Tripura region. The problem is morely of the influx of the refugees from the Bangladesh. You know, the state of Tripura is bounded or bordered by Bangladesh from three sides. So this is one of the problem of illegal migration or refugees from the Bangladesh to Tripura. But as such, insurgency issue is not there, and in fact Tripura is one of the states where we can say that the AFSPA has totally been repealed or removed. Okay, but earlier there were some formations, there were some groupings. You can quote them in your exam, just like National Liberation Front of Tripura in 1989, and in 1971 there was Tripura Upjati Juba Samiti. But still, just remember one name, and today Tripura is one of the successful state in countering the insurgency. And you can quote this as an example, that yes, in your conclusion maybe you can mention that taking lessons from the methodology in your conclusion you can write that considering Tripura, the success of the Tripura, the way it has succeeded in countering the insurgency problem, we must learn from the best practices and implement them in Assam and Nagaland. Okay, students, in a very quickly manner, I'll go to the next particular state, that is insurgency in Meghalaya. Again, Meghalaya, first of all, it is called as Adobe of Clouds. You must know, a very beautiful place. Meghalaya, the problem of insurgency is not there actually. The problem of insurgency, there are other problems actually. The problems of kidnappings, the problem of extortion, the problem of weapons, arms trading. So these problems are more prevalent in the Meghalaya region instead of the insurgency, we would say. So full-fledged statehood was given in 1972, and perhaps the least affected by insurgency, but impacted because of all these problems which are happening in Meghalaya. I'll explain you. The conflict is actually between tribal and non-tribal settlers, and they are called as Dhakkars. If someone asks you what are Dhakkars, these are non-tribal people, and demography has been changed, because of which there are a lot of corruption, I would say. Yes, it has been mentioned, growing corruption in the region, and some of the tribes, they feel that their identity is at threat, so identity issues are there. Clashes of particular tribal and non-tribal people are there, and ultimately demographic change and composition change, they feel that they are threatened. There is another issue of inner line permit. You must know what is inner line permit. Meghalaya since long has been asking for inner line permit. What is this inner line permit, and where it is actually prevalent today? First of all, it is prevalent today in 4 states. You must know the 4 states, like there are people who are demanding inner line permit for the Meghalaya. First state is Arunachal Pradesh. Second state where inner line permit is there, Nagaland. Third state is Manipur. And fourth state is Mizoram. Now let us talk about what is inner line permit. Like, you are Indian, I am Indian, you are Indian, and you want to visit Nagaland. So, do you need any passport? No, you do not need any passport. You are an Indian, you can go into any region of the Indian territory, no issues, but still you need a permit. And that permit is called as inner line permit. State government will give you a permit. Maybe you belong to Maharashtra, Mumbai, maybe you belong to some of the places from Uttar Pradesh, and you want to visit Nagaland as a tourist, or maybe you want to work there. State government will give you a permit that is called as inner line permit, and then only you will be able to stay in the region. Government will ask you for your identity, your purpose of visit, and number of days, maybe that you also need to tell how many days you will be there in this particular state. Okay, students, and this is something which is very unique, because people think that only foreigners, they need this permit. No, it is not foreigners, it is Indians, rest of the India. Apart from these particular states, if you want to enter in these states, you need inner line permit from the state government. Government will give you this permission, and then only you can go into it. So what is the purpose behind it? The purpose is that the demography of the region should not be changed, and government should also have the data that who are coming from outside and at what point of time. So government will keep that track and keep that record. It is Britishers actually. It is Britishers who introduced such kind of a policy, and British people, what they wanted, that they didn't want ये गलत लिखा है ना, such kind of policy was introduced by British people, And since before independence of the country, India, there was a rules and policies, and they wanted that such kind of rules should prevail so that the tribal community and people should not be disturbed, and the integrity of the tribal region should be maintained. There should not be any interference from outside. That is why they started such kind of inner line permit solution and policy to the problem, and it is being continued. However, only 4 northeast states today hold as where you need specific permissions, but Meghalaya and Tripura. People from Meghalaya and Tripura, they are also asking that they should also be given inner line permit. So this can be a potential question in future. It can be in current affair news that Meghalaya may be tomorrow given as an inner line permit permission. Maybe it is in news. You must focus and you must understand that anything comes up in current affairs, and if updated, you also update yourself accordingly. Okay, students. So this is the problem. Main tensions in the Meghalaya state. If you talk about some organizations, so first militant group was Honey Trap Achik Liberation Council. So you can remember it as an example of honey trap. So if you remember the spelling honey trap, some similar kind of word is there. It was formed in 1992, but it was bifurcated into 2 parts. One is Khasi Jayantia people called as Honey Trap National Liberation Council, and another is Garo dominated region. So if you have prepared geography well, you would be aware that Garo, Khasi, Jayantia, these hills are very much popular and you learn them in your geography using maps. These particular regions are part of Meghalaya. And see, people from Garo hills, they feel that they want a separate Garo land. People from Khasi and Jayantia regions, they are in conflict with each other. And they're not everyone. Some limited people who have some limited aspirations, and maybe they today, for fulfilling their aspirations, they are doing criminal activities, and those criminal activities are of extortion, kidnapping, and maybe arms trading, drug trading. So this clash is there between these particular 2 types of tribes, right? So I've given you the example. Garo dominated is Achik Matrik Liberation Army, and Khasi and Jayantia dominated as Honey Trap National Liberation Council. But today, particular Garo National Liberation Army, which was formed in 2009, it is active. This particular organization is active, doing killings, abduction, extortion, all such kind of activities, and they demand for sovereign Garo land. And this particular organization, Achik National Volunteer Council, it was formed in 1995, and this carved out as a homeland called Achik land. Inka focus hai, their focus is to make Achik land in the areas of Garo hills, including Kamrup and Golpara districts of Assam also. So these are extended points. Even if you don't remember them, it's okay. Just have a very basic and fair idea about the situation. What is more important is inner line permit about this particular topic, and what is more important is that you must know that insurgency problem has not been there. The problems are more of the criminal activities, right, in Meghalaya. Let's talk about insurgency in Arunachal Pradesh. See, there is not much insurgency in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh, the issue of insurgency is not there because they're facing, Arunachal Pradesh is already facing a external threat from China, where China claims the region, and because of Tibet, this region is being demanded by China. So that's an external threat, and because of which there are not much internal issues, insurgency issues, but 3 districts. These 3 districts at the bottom, here the problem is there. The name of the districts are Tirap, Changlang and Longning. These 3 districts, they are actually the part of Greater Nagalim. So if a Greater Nagalim is being formed, these districts, NSCN organization, this particular organization, it feels that these districts should also be the part of the Greater Nagalim, and that is why the problem of insurgency in Arunachal is a spillover effect of the Nagaland issue. So problem of insurgency in the state is because of the continuous problem in the Nagaland. So you just remember the name of the districts, if you can quote in the exam, and make a map also. So I have given you the map. Okay, the organization here is that ULFA, United Liberation Front of Assam, yes, the strong presence is being there. There are transit camps which are present there, and Maoist activities are also going on in the Lohit and Lower Dibang Valley. So you can see that problem of Naxalism, problem of insurgency, and these particular groups, they sometimes have a nexus, so that they maybe introduce fake currencies, maybe they do money laundering activities, they are part of the drug trading cartel also, they are doing illegal criminal activities, and this is how they are trying to fulfill their major agenda. However, the issue which is started, if I say that issue with the basic aim, the objective with which they started way before, has somehow been changed. It has turned towards profit making, it has turned towards criminal activities. Anyways, another point also is there because with respect to Arunachal, the ethnic clashes and the problem of ethnicity, where ethnic issues are there. One such refugee tribe is there, that is called as Chakma, and another one is Hejong. There is a strong presence of Chakma and Hejong refugees in the region, and that is why there is a conflict. So I must give you a brief about these particular tribes. They belong to Bangladesh actually, and after 1971 they started migrating to the Mizoram region. And because of the ethnic clashes in the Mizoram, the government thought that it is better to distribute them throughout the northeast, and they were transported and relocated. Maybe these refugees were relocated into Tirap, Lohit, Subansari regions of Arunachal Pradesh. But as the population increases, the influx of these outsiders has raised concern against them among the locals, and then there is a conflict. So this is another example of ethnic clashes, and this example is of Arunachal Pradesh. You must quote it in your exam. Lastly, we'll come to the last state we are discussing, that is Mizoram. Mizoram can be quoted as the best example, I must say, best example in countering the problem of insurgency, and particularly political will. Which is more importantly being seen in Mizoram. So I give you the brief first. There was an organization called as Mizo National Famine Front. Later on it dropped the word famine and it was called as Mizo National Front. This organization was there for violent activities in the Mizoram region. But in 1966, you can see that large scale disruptions and disturbances they were prevailing in that particular region. From the Nagaland, once it got statehood, Mizoram also was in the point of discussion that they should also be given some kind of an autonomy, and there were many government leaders who were participant in this, and there was a large scale disturbance going on. But because of two leaders who just showed very much maturity, the name of the two leaders are Pulal Thanawala, its first leader, and second leader is Pulal Denga. So students, this particular Pulal Denga, this photograph is of Pulal Denga. He was the leader of Mizo National Front, and you will be very surprised to know that Pulal Thanawala, what he did was he unilaterally offer of stepping down from the political seat of Mizoram and offered the seat to Pulal Denga. This example is very important because political will, if it is there, the problems, the solutions can be taken out of it. In 1971, it was declared a union territory. He discussed, first of all, the agreement was signed A peace agreement was signed between Lal Denga and the Mizo National Front, the leader of Mizo National Front with the government. In fact, in 1970s also, Indira Gandhi also, it is being said that a lot of discussions happened between the government and the organization, particular MNF and the government of the Mizoram, where a lot of steps were taken, political will was there, and it is being said that the three factors majorly responsible for bringing peace in the region and controlling insurgency. First is example of the political will. I have given you the example, political will. This is one of the examples of Pulal Thanawala. Second factor is basically the sincerity of Rajiv Gandhi also. So we cannot say the government will, again we will not quote a specific word in the examination, we will quote the sincerity of the present government at that point of time and positive approach. And lastly, we will talk about Mizo civil society. The influence of Mizo civil society was also there, and it also helped in countering the problem of insurgency. In fact, today the CM Zoram Thampa, if I am pronouncing it right, the current CM of Mizoram, his vision is of making Mizoram as a Switzerland of East. So you see, it is progressing, it is almost trying to progress in all the aspects with the proper support of the government, present government. But the situation of insurgency was controlled in Mizoram, and the political will, this example can be quoted again in your way forward, that once the political will, if it is there, the solutions to the problem can be taken out and the problem can be controlled. Okay, so students, quote this example, and this is all about the particular insurgency issues in all the states. I have given you the examples state by state, topic by topic. I have explained you all these aspects. In my opinion, if any question comes up today, my students will be capable enough to answer any type of question now. Just mark this practice question. If you can practice it, I have made a question for you that recently, if a question comes up from the current affairs, that recently the Union government has partially withdrawn the Armed Forces Special Power Act from many parts of the northeast region. Let us suppose this is a question. So if it asks you why AFSPA is called as Draconian Act and what implications will be there if it is repealed completely, such question can be asked. Now you have to give some points in the favor of AFSPA also, that if it is repealed completely, we are in fear that the problem of insurgency can again be fueled in the region. An extraordinary problem needs extraordinary measures. So AFSPA is definitely desirable, but it cannot, but again then you can quote the Justice Jeevan Reddy report and then Supreme Court what it said, and that it cannot be introduced for forever, it cannot be introduced for unlimited time. Anyways, try to practice this question, and this is all about from my end from the insurgency of the northeast with respect to the specific states. Now in the further part we will discuss what solutions the government, the steps that is taken by the government and the security forces, such kind of questions which UPSC generally asks. Okay students.